It is imperative that you understand how to stop the run in Madden 23, not only because the run game is super easy for players to get their offense moving early on in the years in Madden every single year, but even more so in Madden 23 because it's a little bit harder to throw the ball. So you can have a lot of players lean more heavily into the run game. And in this video, I will show you 6 things to consider when learning how to stop the run in John Madden 23 that you can learn in 22 that will carry you on to being a better player when Madden 23 drops. The first technique I want to talk about is gap shooting. Gap shooting is very simple. All you have to do is align your user defender in an area that the offensive line cannot detect them, and once you know that the offense is running the ball, you can slice in and head that running back. For example, on this play, I took my outside linebacker in this nickel normal and placed him outside this D end. That gives enough space so that the offensive line can focus on, that left tackle can focus on that D end, that left guard and center can focus on that D tackle, allowing me a free running lane in with this inside linebacker. Now you can gap shoot every single run in Madden 22, and from the beta that I've played, you can gap shoot the same exact ways in Madden 23. Gap shooting is extremely easy to use. You just have to learn what type of gap shoots are available for each type of formations and for each type of runs, but it's all available to you with the same logic of standing in a position that the offensive line will not be able to detect you once the ball is snapped, and just slice in and take the head off that running back. The next technique that you can use to stop the run is what I like to call the flow technique. It's not utilizing anything fancy, it's not utilizing gap shoots or run blitzes, but flow is an all 11 aspect to stopping and containing the run. You're using all 11 personnel on defense to make a play. Now it utilizes both slanting your defensive line, crashing your defensive line, putting players in positions that they can better affect the run. But a lot of the slants are used to, for example, as you see here, I slanted my D line to the left side of the screen. So I'm getting left penetration. He's penetrating towards the way I want him to penetrate. This guy, he'll be, if he sheds off, he'll shed off towards the side I want him slanting. I got my man Vita Vea over here playing to the outside shoulder of 77, and as you see right here, this defensive end is also playing to that outside shoulder as well. You're utilizing gap fits, and all, like I said, it's all 11 defensive personnel. We're all working to contain the run. Now I like this type of flow defensive gap filling when it comes to outside runs. It's very useful in those type of situations, and you as a user, you'll do your best to make a play on the ball by yourself, but you also know that you have put your other 10 defenders in position to best affect the run as you possibly can. It's a stop the run by committee with this flow technique. When it comes to stopping the run, I'm also a very big fan of run blitzing. What run blitzing is you pretty much can come out in any defense, in any formation, and you just add extra blitzers to try to shoot gaps to contain the run. It's like a computer assisted gap shoot in a way. But the idea behind it is that as soon as this ball is snapped, you have these extra blitzers coming in trying to just wreak and cause havoc. And in doing so, a lot of times they'll be able to make plays in the backfield. In the Madden 23 beta, run blitzing was super effective when it came to stopping runs in the backfield. I had a whole bunch of times where I was blitzing both of these middle guys, and both like a nickel normal as well as a 4-3 under situation, and as well as a nickel 2-4-5 situation. Blitzing these inside guys caused a lot of havoc, but in doing so, you'll also understand that it provides a lot of risk on the back end for your pass coverage, so you also have to be aware of that as a user in this type of situation. When you're trying to stop the run by using run blitzing, you have to assume a lot of risk. You have to understand, in this situation, I came out in a cover 2 defensive play, and in this situation, I just want to man that backside wide receiver up. I just want to take to understand that I have help. He's being covered man on man, and as a user, if it just so happens to be a passing play, in this cover 2 situation, I have a lot of ground to cover. Now there's a lot of other adjustments you can make to make things easier for your user, but just we're not talking about that for right now. We're talking about run blitzing, and blitzing, adding additional blitzers to the play that were not there initially, just adds a lot of aggressiveness in your run stopping ability. So in doing so, what you saw right here is both of my guys blitzed up. They were engaging with their blockers super early. What I like about it is it doesn't play around. I'm bringing the fight to them, and as a user on defense, I understand automatically there's only one place that this running back can go at this point, is through this alleyway, and you just gotta make a play. When it comes to stopping the run, a lot of terminology that you'll hear is numbers advantage. As a defense, to stop the run, it's extremely helpful if you have as many defenders to plug up the run game as they have blockers and +1 for the running back. But even more so if you have more defenders, have a numbers advantage to even guarantee greater success in stopping the run. For example, I'm in a 4-4 defense. A 4-4 defense naturally has 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive linemen, 4 linebackers. But not only that, you also can have a safety if you use control him, bring him down to the box. And for coverage wise, you see we have a cover 3 shell on the back end. You can make it even more safer to allow you to be more aggressive with this player in run fitting by putting these outside guys in deep halves. That way they take up more area, and you as a user defender can just be more aggressive in the run game. And then if it just so happens to be a pass play, you're able to wheel back and just play a little bit less ground than you had responsible for before, because before you had a deep third in the middle. Now you have 2 deep halves that are kind of protecting you, blanketing you, which allows you to roam as a user defender. But in the run game now, we don't only just have 8 people, we have 9 people in the box to handle 1 left tackle, 2 left guard, center, right guard, right tackle, tight end, fullback, and the runner. All of those together, that is 8 personnel. Now we have a +1, so we should be able to stop every single run just off the fact that we have a numbers advantage. And not only we have a numbers advantage, you can run blitz this guy, move him around, get creative with him, just have him just cause havoc, and then user control one of these other guys, or you could blitz one of these other guys and then user control the faster guy just so you're able to make a little bit better of a play. There you go. That's how numbers advantage affects the run game. Now let's talk about personnel briefly. Now, when it comes to having a run stopping mindset, when it comes to I'm just going to shut down your run game, I personally like to always be 1 higher than that offensive personnel which is coming out, if I can help it. For example, a lot of times teams will come out in like a gun doubles HB week, or a 3 wide receiver set. So they have a 3 wide receiver set. I like to have a situation where I come out in defense, if I'm proactive in stopping the run, a situation where I have 2 corners and 2 safeties. I do not plus up with them and balance out with them in a situation where I have 3 cornerbacks. If I'm trying to stop the run, I want to have 2 cornerbacks on the field and just have, more beefier personnel, more personnel which is more apt to stop this run. So for example, for this nickel, instead of coming out in nickel to match personnel with this gun formation, I'm going back to my 4-3 or 4-4. That way I'm switching out a cornerback and I'm bringing in a linebacker, for example, in a 4-3 normal situation. Now I have bigger personnel. Not only that, you can get really cute when it comes to playing around with your substitutions on this D line. You're able to take this defensive end off and put a D tackle in his position. You're able to take this linebacker off and put a bigger outside linebacker in, or you can even put a D in his position. You can get really creative. You can take this cornerback off the field, put a safety in. Has better stats to ratings to stop the run. You can get really creative when it comes to the personnel that you throw out on the field when it comes to stopping the run. Last but not least, when it comes to stopping the run, my last tip is to run plays which add numbers to your run fits. For example, let me come out in nickel normal cover 4/4, and we'll just come out in just a random play just so I can show you guys. So let's take a look at the run fits when it comes with this nickel normal cover 4/4. So that will pull the left trigger, and then we'll hit the B button, which will show you the run fits to the right, and the X will show you run fits to the left. As you can see, in cover 4/4, both of your safeties are in run fits. Now what that means is, if a run play is called, they're more proactive in filling these run fits assignments. They'll step up instead of step back, if that makes any sense, which in doing so will save you a lot of yardage, maybe 3 or so yards when it comes to stopping the run. And 3 yards is very important. To show you guys the difference, let's change this play to a Tampa 2. Now we're in Tampa 2. Let's take as you can see by the play screen, let's take a look at these run fits. Now you got the safeties are not in run fits anymore, but now you have your corner, your nickel corner, as well as your front side outside cornerback Davis the third. Now the play which you call can change the run fits that you have. As you can see the difference between cover 4/4 and cover 2. Now let's hop into cover 3 sky. Let's take a look at these run fits. Now as you see, both safeties are not in run fits. Even this curl flat defender that's over here, Winfield Jr., he's not in the run fit at all when it comes to running to the left and running to the right. But you do have your nickel back. He is also in a run fit. But so like I say, you want to, if you're proactive in trying to stop the run and calling plays, which will allow you to get more people in the box as far as run fits, that will help you stop the run so much. And cover 4/4 and cover 4 palms is really good in that. As you can see, both safeties are in run fits, and you can move them a little bit closer to the line so they react a little bit better. So there you go, guys. In this video, you got a leg up at learning how to stop the run in Madden 23. Like I said to start the video, the run game will be super important for offenses, especially early on in the year. It's always an important thing early on in the year because nobody is really good at passing the ball early. But we'll work on getting you better at passing early on. But for the rest of the people that are not subbed, they're going to have to tough it out and run the ball. But it's even going to be more important because Madden 23 is going to be a very difficult game in passing the ball, which you will see an increase in rushers early on in the year. So it's important that you understand what I just showed you in this video and these 6 tips that can help you stop the run. Now in doing so, you'll get these guys in bad down and distance situations and get them throwing the ball, which is only going to be better for you early on in the Madden year. So take these tips, add these to your game, get ready to ball, and check out the next video in this playlist to get more Madden 23 training camp videos. Learn Madden 23 before the game is out. Prep yourself.